In 1887, the Army was growing rapidly in the United States, engaged in the issues of the day, especially poverty relief and the changing role of women in our country. However, the funding for all the poor and the disenfranchised programs was costly, and funds were sorely lacking. Commissioner Maud Booth recruited some leading and influential women, meeting with them in their drawing rooms. Then, she would invite a slum officer to tell the desperate stories of families in need and the transformation of their lives in hearing the gospel. These gatherings became known as Maud Booth's Auxiliary. The women were so affected by the stories of reclaiming drunkards, rescuing the fallen, and saving the last that they supported the Salvation Army's mission on the spot. Over 100 years later, from Maud Booth's auxiliary drawing room meetings to Houston's Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary, the work of the Army continues with thanks to you, women dedicated to supporting our mission. Today, we recognize a group of women that have decided to make a difference in the greater Houston.
When we got here, I soon realized that we didn't have a woman's auxiliary. And the happiest day of my life, Lily, was the day that you called me and said, I'd like for you to meet me for lunch. And as the conversation went, you said that you would help me start the auxiliary.
Yes, I think I sent about 30 invitations out to invite people to come to my house. Every single one of those ladies that showed up that day became a charter member. And we kind of got a reputation when a new officer would come to, he said, well, we've heard about the auxiliary. And it's like, well, is that good or that bad? And they said, well, it's great, but we want to see you in action, and action we've done.
I feel that the influence of the auxiliary is going to continue to be far-reaching. Not only in its fundraising capacity, which is stellar, but the overall influence within the community because of the spirit of the ministry that they provide.
There were some programs that were relatively new when the auxiliary got involved with them. And one in particular was a summer reading program at our family residence. The auxiliary gave a grant to purchase some of the books, and then there were individual members who went above and beyond that, purchasing books. And each book they read, they had to write a book report that was shared with the auxiliary. And the mothers were more than happy to see this program, progress. It just kept the kids engaged while they were in school.
I love the butterfly logo that they chose from the very beginning. I loved going to every executive meeting, fall tea, spring tea, hop on the bus, Christmas at Santa's workshop. I loved all of it because we were all together. And that's what makes that auxiliary so special, is they just do everything together. They are friends, and we were sisters, and I love them, and I loved that about that auxiliary. It wasn't just we meet once a month, we do our thing, and we're done. It was just really deep, honest, true friendships.
So this SAWA has an important legacy that they are carrying on. I can talk to those that came before me, and it made me a little nervous when I was assigned here, thinking that, oh my goodness, this is something that I've got to take on and that I've got to do. But these ladies, they've got it handled, and they are constantly looking as to who is going to take over. They're putting new people in positions. They're putting new members into areas where they can learn quickly and then move the Salvation Army Women's Auxiliary forward. And that's an important thing to see, this legacy continue into the future.